Hey guys, welcome back to Project with Rose, where our focus is on improving our personal finance, starting with budgeting and debt repayment. So in today's video, I'm going to be budgeting our first paycheck for 2025. So both my husband and I, we are paid semi-monthly on the 15th and on the last day of the month, which means we have to be very strategic with how we allocate our income. So our mid month covers all our expenses from the 15th through the end of the month. So here's how I'm going to be breaking down or allocating this paycheck just to make sure that every dollar has a job to do. For main income, we have $3,631. This includes some overtime and side hustle, which I did mention that the client that I have that I do is bookkeeping. He had some money for me, so he gave me $1,000 from what he owed me. All right, so when I believe that I have enough money to cover the expenses for a period, I do not take money from my girls. So I'm gonna leave family contribution blank for right now. So let us get into allocating our expenses. And I'm going to start out with fixed expenses first. Auto and rent insurance, that's combined. I'm going to budget 158. For cell phone, I'm going to be budgeting $300. For internet, I'm budgeting $80. So these are just a little bit, a couple cents more than what the bill would normally be. So I'm just using a round number to keep it simple. For gas, I do have the gas bill right here, which is 171.71. For electricity, that's 92.17. And for life insurance, I need to pay life insurance for this month, January. So I'm thinking that I can pay January, February, and March because I prefer to pay life insurance in increments of 3 months, and that will keep me for the first quarter fully paid up. So $65 times 3. All right, so let us move over to the debt category. All right, so let me go over to the monthly debt tracker first so I can get the card numbers. All right, so for total credit cards, I need to budget $4,332. 4,003. And for credit cards, I need to budget $432.78 for credit cards. For auto loan number one, which is due on the 15th, I need to make the full payment. I normally do the split pay method, but I need to get this auto pay number one back on the split pay method because I did the deferment in December. So I need to get back with the way that I had them structured before so that by the 15th of the month, I am already done with making the payment for that specific month. So normally, the way that I did it, I would have paid half on December 31st and then the final half on January 15th, and that would have covered the payment for January. But because I did the deferment, it throws off the way that I had my payment set up. So for auto loan number one, that's 488.08. For auto loan number two, that's going to be half of the payment because it's due on the 31st. Let's go to personal loans. And both personal loans are due on the 31st. So I am going to do a half payment on the 15th and then a half payment on the 31st, and then that will take care of payment for January. All right, so let us go back to the budget worksheet. Auto loan number one, that's going to be 488.08. Auto loan number two is going to be 230.94. Personal loan number one is going to be 620.37. That's a half of the payment. Personal loan number two is 383.16. For credit cards, 432.78. And for extra debt payment, let me go back to the monthly debt tracker. All right, so I need to make an extra debt payment for the Best Buy card, a minimum of $376.05. All right, so let me go back here. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the extra debt payment until I budget for variable and savings. For groceries, I already went over the amount that I allocated for groceries for the last 2 weeks by $46.80. I budgeted 150. I spent 196 and 80. What I'm trying to do is to stick to the monthly budget for groceries, and I budgeted $400 for groceries for the entire month because I budgeted 400 for the month and I spent 196 of that already. I'm just gonna take that out, and then that's gonna be the amount that I'm gonna be working with. I am trying to develop some discipline when it comes to the way or the amount of money that I'm spending when it comes to groceries. I don't want to be going over the amount that I budgeted each month. So if I spend a little bit more for one of the pay periods, I'm going to reduce the amount that I'm allocating for groceries because I want to stay within the limits that I'm setting. All right. I'm going to do $120 for fuel. So that will take him two fill ups before we get paid the next on the 31st. So I believe $120 will be able to do. I'm not going to budget anything for personal care, nothing for pest control, nothing for loan, and nothing for clothing. All right, so we still have $1,145.59. I already budgeted for miscellaneous, my CapCut subscription for $10. I have a few savings goal that I want to accomplish by the end of March. I am not putting anything for unexpected funds, but for sinking funds, I'm going to be putting $100. All right. So there is $1,045.59 left over. I'm just gonna make sure that I have everything covered before I say I'm gonna put all of this to extra debt payment. Um, I am not putting any money towards the rent for this from this paycheck. Let's see. All right, let me go back over to the monthly debt tracker and look at the Best Buy account that I need to pay off. So for the Best Buy account, let me make this a little bit bigger. For the Best Buy account, I need to pay $376.05 by January 28th and $1,107.43 by February 28th. All right, so I'm thinking go ahead and make the $376.05 here as extra debt payment. I'm going to put $600 towards rent and $69.54. I'm going to hold on to that $64.59. That's $69.54 in the account just in case there's anything unexpected that I need to cover. All right. So I have allocated all the money that I have. I know where every dollar is going. So the next step for us is going to be to transfer from our main account to the different accounts that I have set up for bills or for variable spending, etc. I have all my auto drafts coming out tomorrow, or majority of our auto drafts coming out on the 15th. And then moving forward, I'll be reviewing the budget on a regular basis. I do check in on my budget every day to make sure that things are going according to plan. I check my accounts every morning. Whether or not there's money in my account, I'm looking in there every morning. It's just a habit that I developed over the years. So I'll be checking in on my accounts. I'll be checking in, updating my budget whenever I do any spending for variables, and I'll just go ahead and adjust where needs be. So that I can stay on track, stay within the limits that I have. By tracking our spending and setting realistic limits based on our financial goals, we're in a better position to create future budgets that are more realistic and sustainable. One where we can rest assured that our money, our paychecks, are being used wisely, which is very necessary in setting the foundation for a financially successful 2025. So until the next video, happy budgeting, everyone.